Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing an unusual miracle. Now, I'm guessing that this is going to be another one of those miracle Sudokus puzzles where you have very little information, but somehow the entire grid will be solvable. So I'm really looking forward to this. It hasn't been played very much. It's only got 57 solves, 2-star difficulty rating from the solvers, and it's got a 99% rating as of the time of recording, so we're clearly in for some kind of a treat. Now, I did forget that it's the weekend, so I did prepare, when I say prepare, create a thumbnail ready for another 1-star difficulty rated puzzle from Willpower, because I was deliberately hunting for one from Willpower since we haven't played one in a while. So today will be a double feature. If you do get stuck on this one, don't worry. A little bit later today will be kind of the 1-star difficulty being dropped out for you guys to enjoy. Anyway, let's see what 99% rating gives us with the following set of rules. An Unusual Miracle by Blackjackfitz. And when you look at it, it almost looks like a crosswords puzzle because it's not entirely Sudoku. Let me explain by walking you through the rules. So, fill every empty white cell with a digit from 1 to 9, such that the digit doesn't repeat in any row or column. So it's kind of like Sudoku, but not quite, because we don't have squares. But essentially, in each row and each column, we only have the digits 1 to 9 once each. And clearly, and it does talk about the black cells in a second, we aren't actually going to have the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row and column, because, as you can see, in column 9, as an example, I'm assuming that is 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we have a lot of black digits that are actually going to be blank. So we only have 2 digits in column 9. We're going to figure out what that means shortly. Next, we've got, if a digit n appears in the puzzle, it appears exactly n times. So my guess is what that means is, if I have the digit 1 in here, I now cannot add the digit 1 anywhere else in this puzzle because I'm only allowed to have it 1 times. You can see some tricky maths we're going to have to do in a second. Then, of course, we've got a few more familiar rules. Cells a knight's move away in chess cannot contain the same digit, and cells a king's move away in chess cannot contain the same digit. So, if this cell is a 1, well, let's go with 2. Well, of course, it cannot be in the same column. It cannot be in the same row. I also can only have one more copy of it elsewhere in the grid. Secondly, I can't have it anywhere that is a chess king's move away from it. So anything that is not just orthogonally, but also diagonally connected to it cannot be that. I also cannot have anything that is a chess knight's move away, which is that L shape. So in addition to not columns, not rows, not king's move, not chess knight's move, and you end up with a phenomenal part of the grid that cannot repeat. So we are absolutely in for a treat. Now, the last bit is kind of what, when I read the rules, I actually confused me, even though it says, for clarity, black cells remain empty but contribute towards knight's move space. Oh, knight's move. Oh, sorry, I read it as king's move the first time, and then it confused kind of the heck out of me. Essentially, it just means that, this cell is a chess knight's move away, even though it might actually end up walking through. Actually, here's a better one. That's 2. These 2 cells, clearly I'm walking through black cells, but essentially that is the chess knight move away. So, an unusual miracle indeed. As always, if you want to give this a go, link in the description down below for you to do so. You know what to do. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. And I think we're going to start with the whole, if a digit n appears in the puzzle, it appears exactly n times. Now, I'll tell you what I'm thinking straight away. There are 9 rows. Okay, there are. Let's do this a bit better. We have clearly 8 cells in column 5, and I'm kind of guessing it's column 5 because we don't have the normal lines to sort of help use it as guidance. So we know we have to have at least 8 unique digits. Okay, how many white cells do we have? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's what? Hang on. I'm so tempted to pause now and just not watch you, okay, let's try this again. Column 1, 3 cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Column 2, 5 cells. Clearly 8 cells, 7 cells, 8 cells again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cells here, 4 in here, 4 in there, and 2 in here. Let's just quickly add all of those up. So we've got 12, 14, 14 and 16, that's 30. And then 8, well, no. What did I say? 30. I keep losing count. 42, 45 cells. Okay. Right. So I don't know why I'm struggling with this. 45 is the triangular number for 9. So we have all of the digits 1 to 9, and we have all of them a copy the same number of times. There you go. That's kind of the conclusion. So I have to place all of the digits, and I have to place them n number of times. And that's why I get to 45 cells. Sorry for the very slow kind of conclusion here. Now, I also remember that there were a handful of columns, these two in particular, that were 8 cells long. So I don't know where I'm going with this. What I was trying to think is, where is the 1? Because it's actually quite a tricky digit to place. But let's not worry about that. Maybe the better answer is, where is the 9? Because we know that we have 9 nines. And therefore, it's going to, with the fact that we have the cells that are a knight move and a king's move away, cannot be 9. It's going to exert an enormous amount of pressure. Like an enormous amount. For example, here is this 9. For a second, I thought that was it. Because clearly, none of these can be a 9 because they are in a king's move away. But for a second, I was thinking that is a chess knight's move away. But it isn't. That is the chess knight's move away. But one of these cells is a 9. And depending on which one... Oh, hang on. With column... Maybe with column 7, 8, and 9, given how restrictive they are, we might be able to actually place one. Right, let's give this a go. So one option for the 9 in column 9 is in here. That blue plus that blue. What does it allow me to do in column 7? Well, that can't be a 9, that can't be a 9, that can't be a 9. There you go. So blue doesn't work for 9s, because then I won't be able to place a 9 in column 9, and I need to. So we know that this is a 9. Actually, I should make it red or something. And therefore, one of these is a 9. Whichever one it is, neither of these in column 7 could be, nor this cell, of course, because it can see it in the same row. But this one is fine. So that's another 9. Right, we're going to keep going this way. And one of these two is a 9. And we're going to proceed now onto column 6, which is also fairly restricted. This cell doesn't work. You can see that. Sorry, Mrs. Sleuth is just coming back from work. So there will be a little bit of excitement. I may end up pausing the video because this clearly just requires a lot of discussion. And then one of these two cells is a 9 as well. I'll be right back. Right, sorry about that. Let's see if we can pick up where we left off. Right, let's try this. Column 5 now. This 9 eliminates all of these. This 9 eliminates this. These two, whichever one it is, both of these are out. So I have a 9 option in one of these two cells. Let me just think about this for a second. This 9 would eliminate both of these. And then I would end up, so I'm actually going to use different colors now because I've got options that I can clarify a bit. So if this is red, this can't be red. This would have to be, I don't know, I'm going to go with orange. And because this is red, that can't be red. That will be the orange. It doesn't have to be, does it? And if this is orange, that can't be. This would be orange, yeah. And red can't make this a 9. So red definitely excludes this cell, but it could be orange. I think this could be either. Okay. It's starting to get a bit tougher now. Yeah, it's starting to get a bit tougher. I'm kind of tempted to sort of come at it from the other direction. Yeah, tricky. Tricky. How about what we're going to do is we're going to start coloring all the cells that absolutely cannot be 9, just to start eliminating some options. That feels like a more fruitful thing to do. So I'm going to use gray. I think that's fairly distinguished from everything else. None of these could be a 9. None of these could be a 9. None of these, none of these. All of these are gray, not this black cell. And then obviously these are going to exclude some more. Particularly this cell would eliminate all of these options, and then I'll be left with one of 2, which is starting to feel very restrictive. Particularly like if I place 1 in here, it feels like it eliminates almost everything that's left. Let's just try that. What happens here? Eliminates all of these, all of these. Yeah, not enough. One of these two is a 9. We know that. So if red is 9, this would, sorry, if orange is 9, then clearly this would be the red. So let's try that. And then red would eliminate, all of these cells would be eliminated. All of these cells, actually, hang on. There you go, red doesn't work. Let me explain. We need a 9 in every row. If red is here, as in red, this is red, that can't be 9. This would be 9. And then, of course, because none of these could be 9s now, I still need 1 in row 8, so this would be red. Now, take a look at what that means, because this is not 9, and this would be, so I can't have any more in here. And this cell eliminates everything that's left in column 1. So long story short, red doesn't work. Orange does. So we're going to remove these. It's not brilliant yet, by the way, because I still have 2 options in column 5, but we can color a bit more of the grid now and understand more implications. So clearly one of these is a 9. which is not good enough to help me eliminate literally any of these cells. But I think I have the same trouble with this cell, don't I? No. Yes, it eliminates these two, but these two could be 9s. Okay, let's move on. Of course, everything in the row, so these are gone. So if this is, there you go, if this is a 9, row 1 is obviously sorted, but so is row 2. Neither of these would be 9. So that doesn't work. This has to be 9. And therefore all of these are going to be grey as well. This would be grey. Row 3 we're sorted, and then in here, clearly these two cells, right. Row 2, one of these has to be a 9, which eliminates both of these options with Night Move and Sudoku. So these can't be 9s. This is a 9. These are gone. Clearly all of these cells can't be 9s anymore, as in these two. Nor can this one, because it's eliminated by King's Move and Knight's Move from both options. So that's my 9. These are not 9s. That's my 9. And that's my 9. That's all 9s. Done. Wow. Now the trick is, we don't have the same restriction with 8s, do we? Let's think about it, actually. I think we do. Yeah, we do. Right, if this is an 8, this would be an 8. And then I can't place any in column 7. These two cells are eliminated, and these cells are eliminated. So essentially, between column 7, 8, and 9, I can only place 2 8s. Interestingly, any one of these cells in this cluster sees all the others with Knight's Move and King's Move. So this cell sees both, and then Knight Move sees these. And then the same is true, obviously, in here. These two cells see each other. So there's an 8 in here, essentially, and then 1 amongst these cells, which is not quite enough to progress. However, that might be enough to start adding a bit of pressure elsewhere. For example, so I mean, I need an 8 between these 3 cells. Yeah, not enough pressure again. Okay, actually, I need an 8 in one of these two, which eliminates all of these cells. And therefore in row, yeah, again, remember, I'm allowed to miss one. So even though I deducted columns 9, 8, and 7, I'm only allowed 2 of the 3. Haven't quite made the same deductions about the rows yet. So I could very easily end up with done in row 8. So just because that these are grey, essentially this cell is grey, doesn't force an 8 in one of these two cells, unfortunately. Tricky. Let's keep going. I can keep using the columns, however, in that I need one of these two cells, and they don't see any common cells. So I'm going to have to go with options again, unfortunately. Right, let's do this. So red and orange. If I go with orange, this can't be 8, this can't be 8, this would be 8, this would be orange. Now, all of these are gone. This would be orange. This would be orange. Because essentially I've skipped column 8. Now I need one in every column. Not necessarily every row, though. So potentially one here. If I go for it, it eliminates all of these in this row. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. Right, this 8 would eliminate an 8 in here. I still need one in every column, so that would be orange, which would eliminate all of these options. I would need one in column 3, and it would have to be this cell, because essentially this cell is eliminating all of these options. This has eliminated that. This has eliminated all of these. That's the only place that's left, which removes this cell. And now I think I'm out of options in column 4. Can't do it. Can't do it knight move. Sudoku. King's move. Knight move. Sudoku. And I can't have one in column 4. Orange doesn't work. We know that 8 is definitely in here. And I am going to remove all of the orange, unfortunately. Leave that corner for a second. And then this red means I can start coloring a little bit. Not very much, to be fair. It leaves all of these cells open. It's not brilliant. I don't really want to explore 3 options. I still need these, which means I need one of these 2. So I am going to kind of do it backwards from here. How does that help? And the thing is, again, they don't have any common cells. They're too far. Right, let's think about red. Red will continue in here. Then these are all eliminated, as is this cell, as is this cell. So potentially 2 in here, potentially 2 in there. This 8 eliminates all of these. We need one in column 1, which means it would have to be one of these 2 in row 8. Now it can't, again, I can't use rows just yet. I really need to be able to figure out where the restrictions are for the rows in the same way that I have them in the columns. Here is something. Yeah, I can't believe it took me so long to see this. No, because I've placed this 8. I was going to say these rows, this block of 6, basically every cell sees every cell as well. So I can only have one copy of a digit right now. Thing is, I've already placed one in row 5 in here, and I have the space for a 7 as well, so it's not brilliant. But I think this cell eliminates too many options. It eliminates, actually, so does this cell. This cell would eliminate all of these in whatever that row is, 3. All of these in row 4, 5, 6. So truly, this starts to get very difficult to place 8 digits if I pick this cell. I'm going to highlight it somehow. So if I pick purple, I don't have any options here. I don't have any options there. That's the problem. In fact, both of these cells are a problem. They eliminate the entirety of row 2 and row 3, and I need to have one in at least one of them. That's the way I should have thought about it. Right, this cell sees all of them, including with Sudoku, and then obviously the rest with King's move, and then, sorry, with Knight move, and then with King's move. So neither of these could be the 8, which means I need an 8 now in every row. Because essentially, oh, hang on. These can't be 8. Doesn't stop this from being an 8, does it? I could still have an 8 as such. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, let's keep going. This is probably problematic, isn't it? No. This one? No, because again, it can be here. Eliminates this row. Actually, there are more cells that I can eliminate now because they will eliminate too many rows. If they eliminate 2 additional rows in addition to the one they're placed, it doesn't work. This cell, for example, eliminates all of these, eliminates all of these, doesn't work. This cell eliminates all of these, knight move, etc. also doesn't work. This cell, you see, that kind of works. Might eliminate all of row 1, doesn't eliminate all of row 3, and the same challenge with this cell. So row 2 seems open. I can actually place something. This cell seems like it'll be tricky. Eliminates all of row 2, obviously eliminates all of row 3. That doesn't work. This cell, again, kind of works. Hopefully the logic makes sense to you guys. This one feels like it... No, it does. Yes, it eliminates row 1. Right, so I've got choices, I think, again. No. For a second, I was going to say... we still haven't figured out which row I can skip. I figured it out in the columns, but we haven't figured it out in the rows just yet. Half tempted to remove some of these colors to get some clarity. How about this cell? It doesn't work again. It needs to eliminate multiple rows or multiple columns. Haven't thought about multiple columns, although it really does get tricky at this point. Because the columns are fairly spaced out in this cluster. It's the rows that are under pressure. So I'm just evaluating this cell. Essentially, I can still place these 2. And then it breaks column 4 because I can't place it anywhere. Can't place it here, can't place it there, can't place it there. This is very tricky. I think, obviously, the more digits I place, the easier this is going to get. But the first few digits are going to be a little bit painful. But, once I eliminate, for example, this cell as well, I think, this is going to start becoming a much easier problem to solve for. Let's think about this one next. What does it do? See, it doesn't eliminate this one, which is not great. Eliminates this cell. So essentially, these 2 force an 8 up here. What happens when I place an 8 there? Well, none of these could be 8s. So this can't be an 8. These can't be 8. So essentially, purple would have to be as such. And then here for column 3, and then here for column 1. And I need one for column 6, which can't be this cell, can't be this cell, can't be this cell, can't be this cell. This doesn't work either. Right, last one, I hope. So why did this... Yeah, of course, because it eliminates this red, and I need one in every column. So it places this cell, and then I can't place these cells, obviously. Sudoku. So this cell, which I'm evaluating now, means one of these would have to be joining the orange. And then one of these. But actually, column 5 becomes tricky, doesn't it? I need... Sorry, column 4. So that would have to be... Because that is not available. So that would have to be the pattern. column 6 still works. And then one of these two again. So this cell actually, unfortunately, works. Essentially, all of the digits I've just selected would become 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then one of these two, both of which work. So I can't eliminate this cell. Does that make it... So remember, column 2, I said it's one of these two. And if it's red, well, if it's orange, I don't think it forces this to be orange, does it? No. Red forces this out. And it would force one of these two to be red. No, it just eliminates this cell because I could still have red in here. Okay. Right, moving on. I want to remove these reds. Is this one a problem? So it eliminates all of these, all of this, all of this. So let's just evaluate this cell. Obviously eliminates all of these, so that would be purple. Then I still need one in the column, so this would be purple. This would be purple. And it feels like I don't have one for column, whatever this is, 4. Gone, gone, gone. Yeah, that is another blank. Has to be quicker ways of evaluating this. What I'm now tempted to do is to color these cells orange and red. So orange makes this, sorry, red will make this orange because it can't be. Red and orange, hang on, why did I say that? Sorry, I'm looking at these two cells, pardon me. Orange, can't have this as orange, this would be orange. And then I need one in column 3, which can't be these two cells, can't be this cell, it would have to be this cell. Then I would need one in column 1, which would have to be this cell. And then one of these two, both of which seem to work. Then one of, no, actually, column 6 can't be here, would have to be there, which I think is probably going to help me with this column now because all of these are eliminated. So it's only this cell now. And then again, one of these two. So orange, as it stands, works. Let's think about reds. Specifically, this red would force this red. Red in column 3 can't be here, can't be there, can't be there. Would have to be one of these two. In column 4, all of these are gone, all of these are gone. This would conflict and therefore red is broken. So orange it is. And then one of these two. Wow, tricky. And I've got 7 of them. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8 is in one of these two. Right. Yeah, you can't disambiguate them at this point. I think we need to think about 7s now. Sevens, right, so we only need 7 of them. Let's think about 7s. Let's assume for a second, actually, there's a 7 in here. Eliminates all of these. There's a 7 in there. I'm just trying to pack as many 7s as I possibly can. There's 1 in here in column 3, which eliminates all of these. This cell eliminates all of these. This cell eliminates, I mean, there's no option there anyway, which actually eliminates all of these. Obviously, there's so far more 7s than I need. But it actually, I think, eliminates these. It's this. I can pack one here. I wouldn't be able to pack one in column 6. In fact, I'm done in here. I'm done there. So I would have to place one in here. And essentially this would be it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So purple works, sadly. I want to see if I can reverse it. As in, if this is a 7, does it essentially force purple? Essentially eliminates all of these cells, eliminates all of these cells. And then one of these would have to be green. This could potentially be green, which would eliminate this from being green. And you can see I'm already at 3. Can't have greens in here. One of these. Can't have it here. Can't have it there. Could have it in one of these two. No, too many options. There has to be an easier way than what I'm doing, and I just need to spot it. Where's the pressure on the 7? And let's just focus on columns 9, 8, 7, and 6. How many 7s can I get in here? And they're all clustered in these cells. And I think the answer to that is at best 2. If I place a 7 in here, for example, it sees all of them, which is not enough. So that's out. And I think this one is out as well, because it would see all of column 6, 7, and 8. Right. Let's keep going, which I think is kind of the answer, isn't it? So essentially now, pardon me, remove, I don't want to remove it because this was useful, but I am going to have to. So these two are out because they eliminate all of columns 6, 8, and 9, and it eliminates 3 columns, in which case I can only have a maximum of 6. So that's useful information. Let's see if I can keep this going. If I place a 7 in here, I eliminate 7 and 9, which is fine. But the challenge, of course, is I can actually still place 1 in 6. So I can't eliminate this cell. And I can't eliminate this cell. One of these essentially would be a 7. All right, let's think about it this way. I can only place 1 7 in here between 8 and 9. So right now I can only afford to lose 1 more 7 in the remaining columns. And then columns 7 and 6, this one obviously eliminates one of those columns. So this cell is tricky. And I feel like I can eliminate it. Because essentially now I need, if I take this cell as a 7, I need to place a 7 in every other column, including this cell, including this cell. And this is going to start to get very tricky, I suspect. So one of these 3 would have to be a 7, which eliminates all of these in column 4. These are eliminated, so that would have to be a 7. So that is gone, as is this cell. And then I think I'm left with none in column 5. Doesn't work, doesn't work, doesn't work, doesn't work, doesn't work, doesn't work. This cannot be a 7. Right, that's also gone. Now, I said I have one in here. Thing is, I can have two now between 6 and 7, so it places a lot less pressure. This one places a ton of pressure, as we've determined earlier. You know, this basically placed all of the 7s. So the question is, if I don't place it in here, what happens? Maybe that's the question to answer. So one of these is 7. Let's maximize it for a second. So that would eliminate this cell. This would eliminate this cell. So that would be purple. And I'm eliminating this cell now because I've already selected this one. So I now need, because I can't have one in column 1, I need to actually place one in every cell. So this is not available. One of these would be a 7. This isn't. This, okay. I'm going to go back to gray for a second. All of these are gone. These cells eliminate all of these options. And then I think I'm in trouble between columns 3, 4, and 5. This is just not going to work. I need to place 3 of them, and I can't make that work. So this cell, because it eliminates this cell, eliminates column 1, forces me to place 1 in every column, which requires column 7, column 9, forces this in column 2. These eliminate all of these cells, and then I'm stuck on 3, 4, and 5. Right, so that doesn't work. This is gone. I didn't mean to eliminate the 8. Now I have 1 in here between 8 and 9, and I can't use column 6. I can't afford to lose any more columns. That's 7, which forces a 7 in here. This is a 7. That can't be a 7. That can't be a 7. But I need one in between column 8 and 9. So that's a 7, which gives me my 8 in here. And then I'm under a lot of pressure, to be fair now, to try and place 3 7s in this group. And I can't have this cell. This feels like I've broken it. Yeah, it looks like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That feels like I've broken it somehow. How did I break it? Oh, this cell. Why did I eliminate this cell? That's sorted. And then I need 1 between these, 2 between them. And I think they have to be these extremes. This, so, let's think about columns 3 and 4. This cell sees all of, so it doesn't work. This cell sees all of it. So this has to be it, which eliminates all of these. This has to be it. That's my 7s done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How are we doing? 40 minutes. I'm hoping this is going to pick up steam. Right, let's think about this. Column 9, column 1 are gone. So I can only afford to lose 2 more columns. I'm going to point out that some of these get very tricky. For example, if I place a 6 in here, I've eliminated all of these. I'm just going to see what happens if I do that. Gone, gone, gone. Yeah, this gets very tricky. And I suspect if I don't use one of these two, it's not going to work. So I'm going to not consider this cell. I'm going to say this is purple, and then somehow, then one of these is purple. And then they don't eliminate everything in here. So this could be purple, for example. This could be purple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm miscounting. It doesn't work. I can only afford to lose 3. That's why. Right. And I've already lost column 9 and column 1. So I can only afford to lose 1 more. And essentially, I can only choose one of these 3 cells. So I have to have one in here, which eliminates this cell. And therefore, one of these 2. Now, they eliminate these rows. I need one in column 2. That's a 6. That eliminates, I feel like I'm going to have to use this cell because if I don't, I think I'm going to get in trouble between columns 3, 4, and 5 if I only have this space left for me. So let's ignore this cell for a second. Let's just prove it, kind of negatively prove it. If that's not a 6, and these are essentially the remaining cells that are available for a 6. Now I'm considering. This cell, I think, eliminates all of column. That doesn't work. That's gone. This cell would eliminate all of these and these, and then suddenly column 3 and 4 would also see each other. So I think this doesn't work. Now what happens in here? It eliminates all of these, and then I'm left with orange. So yeah, this is definitely a 6. Eliminates all of these oranges. This orange, they have to be at a diagonal. This cell sees everything else. Doesn't work. No longer work. No longer work. We are going to pick up steam like I suspected. This 6 eliminated this 6, so that's a 6. That's not a 6, that's a 6. Done. 5. Column 1, column 9 are gone. I can afford to lose 2 more. And one of them is gone between 7 and 8. If I try and maximize this for a second, you see this cell eliminates column 2. So that's kind of my 4 columns gone. If I pick this cell, I lose 7, 9, 1, and 2. And then I have to place a 5 everywhere else. Now the interesting thing is, if I pick this cell, well, sure, I can place one in column 2, but I can't place one in 6, 1, 8, or 9. So my column's already gone anyway. So I have to place 3 5s between these groups again. I imagine this doesn't work. Eliminates all of this. That's gone. I imagine this will not work. It eliminates all of these cells, and then all of these 2 would see each other. So that's gone. So that has to be a 5, which eliminates all of these options. And then I still need 1 on each, so they have to be at the diagonal once again. That's 5, that's 3 of them. And then I have 2 options remaining, unfortunately. Option 1 eliminates this cell, and I'm left with one of these 2. Yeah, I'm not too keen with that. And then the second option is no, no, and no. Yeah, I'm going to have to do this, a flash of some sort. Right. Hang on. That 5 eliminated that 5. So purple is not an option. and I still need 2 more. It has to be at a diagonal. There you go. That's 5's done. 4's, I have lost column 1, column 8, and column 9. I've already lost 3 columns. Oh, I've already lost 4 columns. I can only afford to lose 1 more. I want to check what happens in here. I'm trying to maximize things. I think that breaks it already. No, it doesn't. Essentially, one of these would be a 4. So purple as such works. Now I kind of think this cell doesn't work. It eliminates column 2, column 7, 8 is gone, 9 is gone, 1 is gone, and 6 is gone. So this cell just blanket doesn't work. I think this one also does a similar problem. Eliminates 2, eliminates 4 and 2, and then obviously with the others doesn't work. So this is not available either. So if I don't pick this cell, what happens? I think I just don't end up with enough. At most I can get 1. To be fair, I could do 2, 3, 4. Yep, that works. So this is not forced. I think this is now. If I don't use column 2. Okay, let's try and eliminate that. So a quick reminder, 1 is gone, 8 is gone, 9 is gone. So I've lost 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. I can only afford to lose 1 more. And if I lose 2, then I'd have to have this cell. I'd have to have 3. And then I have to have 2 between 4 and 5, but there is no room for them. So this is definitely a 4. This is eliminated anyway. And remember again, if I don't use whatever this is, 7, I can't fit 3 between these cells. So that is also forced. And then I still need 2 more between all of these cells, which is highly achievable. This cell doesn't work though. Eliminates everything left, so that's a no. This cell, I think, works. This cell doesn't. Eliminates everything else, so that's gone. So essentially, I have these as options. I'm going to give them different colors. So purple and orange. If this is orange, this couldn't be orange. This would be orange. The challenge, of course, is purple. I've got optionality in here. Let's think about 3 now. 3 is getting very tricky now. I mean, it's coming up to an hour solve, so it should be starting to get a bit easier. 1, 2, 3, 1. Oh, essentially, I've lost column 1, 2, 9, 8, 7, 6. And I have to have 1 in columns 3, 4, and 5 in each one. Now, if I don't use this cell, I don't think I can fit 3 3s in here. That's the challenge. This cell basically eliminates everything. This cell This cell doesn't, but I wouldn't be able to fit more than 2. So that's a definite 3. Neither of these are 3s. Then I need 2 3s in here. And this cell sees everything but, so these two are far enough apart. This cell would eliminate everything, so that doesn't work. This cell would eliminate everything, that doesn't work. So that's a 3, and I think that is a 3. That's my 3 3s, which is probably enough to give me my 4s, isn't it? Yeah, it has to be these 2 cells. Twos and 1, I think the 2s work as such because they're diagonal, and the 1, and we're done. Now, I'm hoping that you guys have a smoother way of solving this than what I've just demonstrated. But regardless, I mean, fairly happy with this solve. And it is indeed an unusual miracle. Thank you so much, Blackjackfitz, for this puzzle. And like I said, if it's a bit tricky for kind of the standard for this channel, I will post a 1-star difficulty rated puzzle from Willpower later today. Hope you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video, and I'll see you back soon. Bye-bye for now.